team winning and everybody in first place. Raise your glass, let's celebrate. Own lane in your own race. Why you got such a sad face? Not up to me, you chose your fate. It's a long way going down. All I can do is say congratulations. All you niggas do is slay and hate. But how can you hate when you can't relate? I ain't got time, I got moves to make. Cross the finish, not shake and bake. I don't know what to do with my hands. Look at this money and dance. Oh, man. She like, give me one more chance. All I do is give her cash. She get the cash, she drop it so fast. She on the pole, she doing the dance. I'm like, mommy, come give me that stance. I'm like, quarterback and she like, I don't give a fuck, she rockin' the mic. She got hair, she don't know how to say. Take the girl and be rockin' the mic.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a very special edition of Who Got Game. We are outside because everybody's got COVID right now. Everyone's in health and safety protocols. Not us, though. We're good. I'm Jason Zone Fisher, joined, as always, by my main man, Pavy. Is in the house. What's up, Pavy?
What's up, man? How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
All of that.
Yeah, all the happy, merry everything. Happy New Year to you and everyone out there. Baron Davis, we're here at SLiC Studios. He might be popping in a little bit. That's why we got an empty chair to Pavy's right. So we'll see. He may be joining us in a little bit. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about everything that's going on in and around the NBA. We're now in 2022. The team that I want to start talking about today, they have the longest win streak of any team in the NBA currently. That's 7 games. And that is your hometown Chicago Bulls,
yeah.
Including DeMar DeRozan hitting back-to-back buzzer beaters.
Yeah.
First time in NBA history that a guy won a game on a buzzer beater on back-to-back consecutive days. It's crazy. Should DeMar DeRozan be a starter for the Eastern Conference All-Stars this year? And how real of a contender are the Chicago Bulls? They're currently the best record in the Eastern Conference, but should they be in that same conversation with the Bucks, with the Nets, or with the Miami Heat?
My answer to your first question is yes, he should be. The Bulls should have 2 All-Star starters. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan both should be All-Star starters in my personal opinion. Will they be? I don't know because it's fan vote. But also, Chicago has a huge fan base, so they may be. As far as the Bulls being contenders, I don't think they'll get to the finals, but I do think, there's 2 teams I don't think that they can beat. The Heat and the Bucks.
Okay.
Anybody else, I think the Bulls could beat the Nets.
You think the Bulls could beat the Nets?
Why can't they?
Well, I mean, because the Nets have arguably in that series the 3 best players,
In
1, 2,
theory,
and 3
but
on
not
the floor.
really.
Wait a minute. Were you not the same guy that told me before the season that you didn't think the Bulls?
I didn't know
could beat the
Kyrie
Nets?
was. I didn't know Kyrie was gonna be in and out like this. I had no idea.
Flip flopping.
And that's our producer TPJ.
Yeah,
What's
I
up,
finally got a mic
TPJ? How
today.
you doing? What are your thoughts on that? Are the Bulls for real?
Of course we're for real. We've been for real though. I told people going into the season, DeMar and Zach LaVine would work. I told people Lonzo Ball would finally start to look like he's supposed to look. Now he's giving you what he's supposed to be giving you. He does need to be more aggressive on the offensive end because I do think teams are going to try to make him shoot in the playoffs. But I think we're fine. Also, because of health and safety protocols, they picked up Ersan Ilyasova. I think he'll be a good bench player if they keep him around because I actually still think they need some size in the front court, even though everybody's going small now.
Right.
Still need a 7-footer, 6'11" guy that can rebound, get dirty, play. He can also stretch the floor, hit a 3. He can play on the floor with Vucevic if they need to. But I still think the Bulls have a trade coming, and it's going to rock the NBA because they're going to get somebody that's going to put them over the top, and then you remember these words.
Who do you think that's going to be?
I have no idea, but I do. But I'm being genuinely honest. I have no idea, but I do think that if there's a time for the Chicago Bulls to go for it and aim to win a championship, right now is the time.
Wow. Okay.
To me, they have a 2-year championship window, and then maybe a third if Nikola Jokic does what Pavy says and joins them in a few years.
Okay, yeah, a Nikola swap. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the Bulls are really good. I do not think they are in the same tier or class as the Nets or the Bucks. I think that those 2 teams are the strongest contenders in the Eastern Conference. I'd then maybe even put a full-strength Miami Heat team above the Bulls.
The reason why I said the Heat and the Bucks is because I think the Heat and the Bucks both had the ability to guard really anything that anybody in the conference wants to do.
Yeah.
The Nets are just a concept to me. We see all these players, but how many games have they played together in 2 years?
I think 7 total, maybe.
Like, they're a concept. And then
Right.
obviously Kyrie, he can't play at home. Like, he can practice, but he can't. I think he can play 20 games. I know he might be coming back on Wednesday.
Yep.
But just like, how do you get chemistry?
Right.
And then if, let's say, the Nets end up getting the #1 seed, and you end up playing Game 7 in Brooklyn, and how do you get chemistry?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I definitely think a lot of people are on the Nets bandwagon because they have KD, Harden, and now Kyrie coming back. Saying they're the odds-on favorite in Las Vegas to win it all. But I do think they're going to have some chemistry issues. I think it's going to take a minute. I think James Harden was looking a little sluggish and slow coming back. He's finally clicking and finding his groove back. But now, how does he? He's doing that without Kyrie on the floor. Then when Kyrie comes back, it's a whole different animal.
You look
How
at
do you
like
play
Patty
with
Mills.
him?
Like, Patty Mills has been playing great all season, right? So now Kyrie comes back, Patty Mills minutes drop. But then the next game, he's playing like 35 minutes because they're on the road. Like, how do you get chemistry with this roster?
Yeah.
So that's my only thing with the Nets. Like, if they were all on the court and playing, I would be all in, like, the Nets.
Sure.
But I just think, like, you need chemistry, bro. Like, you need chemistry.
And Kyrie Irving hasn't played an NBA basketball game in a very long time.
Yeah.
So I think it's not. I don't know. We'll see Wednesday when Kyrie comes back against the Indiana Pacers on the road, supposed to make his debut then. What it's like, but. I don't know. I think they could lose that game potentially just because so many people think they're so hyped up and, they're just going to be blowing teams out. I think they're going to have a little bit of trouble, at least early on, getting into the groove.
It's also another team I think I don't think they could beat them, but I think they could scare them. I think even like Philly, if they can maybe trade Ben Simmons and actually get something, even if they can, I think they can like scare the Nets. Even Cleveland, I think a team like Cleveland with their size could at least scare the Nets.
Sure.
I don't think that they're as unbeatable as, like you said, the Vegas odds makers would.
Yeah.
If I was putting my money in Vegas right now, I would not bet. I would bet on somebody else other than the Nets.
I kind of like, actually, I was looking at the Vegas odds. The Milwaukee Bucks are 8-1. They're like fourth or fifth down on the line. I kind of like that value.
I like those odds.
There.
I like those odds. I would do that.
Yeah, 8-1. I mean, that's not bad. Put $100 on it, win 800 if they can pull it off.
That's how it works.
That's what plus 800 means. You bet 100, you'll win 800.
I might have to go to Vegas.
I know, exactly. Or I got a guy. Don't worry, you don't have to go to Vegas. Save on the gas or the flight. I got you. So I'm excited that Kyrie's coming back because he's one of the most electric players in the league, and it's definitely been a lot of fun to watch that develop and unfold, and a lot for us to talk about and see. But I do think it might take a little bit of time. You mentioned the Philadelphia 76ers. They're a team that we've not talked about much this season because the Ben Simmons situation is still unfolding. Embiid missed some time. He's still one of the most dominant players in the game when he's out there and healthy. What do the Sixers need to do to be in this conversation? Do they need to make a trade? And if so, this Ben Simmons situation hanging out there, what type of player should they try to acquire that would vault them up into the title contender?
I mean, I think we've said this multiple times on the show. Like, if they could be something for Ben Simmons or C.J. McCollum, even a Jaylen Brown. I think that they need another option in the half court. Like, I think everybody outside of Embiid is playing a step too up, too far up. Like, I think they depend on Steph scoring a little bit too much. I think they depend on Tobias scoring a little bit too much. Even Maxey, I like Tyrese Maxey and what he's doing, but I think they depend on him a little bit too much in certain situations. So, for me, yes, like. Obviously, I think Embiid is 27 right now. He's in his prime. He's one of the best players in the league. If you don't get Ben Simmons off, I feel like you're kind of wasting a year of his prime.
Right. Joel Embiid's prime and health. That's,
like you're wasting a year of your best player's prime.
Yes, definitely.
So yes, I think eventually. Obviously, I know the reason is just like you don't want guys to be able to just sign deals and then be like, all right, I want out of here. But at some point in time, like this team has a chance to do something.
Yep.
Like when I look at the East, I don't think that they're so far behind everybody else. So
sure. Yep. No, for sure. Well, it'll be interesting to see what kind of deals they might be able to make or what's going to happen with the Ben Simmons situation. There's a lot of names that we've heard rumors all season long. C.J. McCollum, Damian Lillard, Ben Simmons, John Wall, Buddy Hield, De'Aaron Fox, all the Kings guys, Marvin Bagley, Jeremy Grant from the Pistons once he gets back and healthy, all the Pacers guys. We've got Miles Turner, Domantas Sabonis, Karis LeVert. Some of those names we just mentioned, they're going to be on different teams over the next month or so. So which guys and where they end up is really going to change the landscape of this league. And we talked about the Miami Heat. One player that we haven't mentioned for them who's coming back and supposedly is looking good is Victor Oladipo.
Yeah, see, that's my wild card for the Heat. Like, when I just look at their roster, right, and you get Hero and you get Oladipo coming off the bench. Two guys who are any given. Obviously, I don't think Oladipo would be the Indiana Pacers depot when he played against Bron. But he's a guy that in a series, he can come off the bench and give you 20 points randomly and play very, very solid defense. Like when I look at the Heat's roster, I think they can guard pretty much anything that anybody wants to do, and they have at least. Hero can get you 20. Butler can get you 20. Bam can get you around 20. They have Lowry can get you 20. They have guys who can also score the basketball as well. So
absolutely.
The Heat are my wild card team.
Yeah, I mean, they really have everything. They've got shooting, guys like Duncan Robinson, specialists. They've got defense.
Gabe Vincent's been
killing it. Max Strauss.
I didn't even know who he was.
Right?
Max Strauss has been good.
Really. They've obviously got a great coach, experienced coach. They've got experienced players from going all the way to the finals in the bubble and then adding Kyle Lowry, a veteran who's won it all before.
Adding P.J. Tucker.
P.J. Tucker, exactly, who just won with the Bucks, and the defense and physicality that he brings to and presence, and a guy who actually, it's crazy, hasn't played since the scuffle with Jokic, but Markieff Morris. The fact that he's got to come back at some point, but he's a valuable piece too from the postseason. So they're an interesting team, and we haven't seen them fully healthy, especially with the Bam Adebayo injury.
Bam Adebayo, they've been hit by COVID. I mean, who hasn't? But they've been hit by, and they still sit, I think, third or fourth.
I think they're fourth.
Yeah, they're fourth in the East right now.
Yeah.
After dealing with everything that they've been dealing with, so I would be very interested to see them get to full health and play some basketball.
It's crazy that the Eastern Conference has now become the deeper conference with more talented teams top to bottom because the thing that is working for the LA Lakers' favor is the fact that they're in the Western Conference right now. They're still in the playoff picture, and they're hovering around 500 back and forth. It feels like they take one step forward and then two steps back. They win 2 or 3 in a row, and then they lose 5 in a row. Right now, they've won 2 in a row again, trying to get it together, but they haven't found any consistency or rhythm. And if they were in the Eastern Conference, I think their playoff chances would look a little bit
in the play-in right now.
Tougher than it is in the Western Conference. Do you think the Lakers will be all right? They'll figure it out because of the veterans, the talent, the pieces that they have, that when push comes to shove, they'll make the playoffs, and once they're in the playoffs, they can win any given series?
I have a question for you. What is your definition of figuring it out for the Lakers?
Figuring it out means they are a legit title contender.
No. They're currently constructed, no. Yeah. But I think they're better than what they've shown.
Okay,
I think they're better than 18 and 18. I do not think that they are a title contender.
But they cannot win it all.
As currently constructed, I don't think they can.
But what do they do? So what do the Lakers do? Because clearly their window is shrinking. They're playing with LeBron James in year 19 right now. They're playing to win now, for sure. They got the oldest team in the NBA. What can they do? Because it seems like Russell Westbrook is an untradeable contract that they acquired.
See, I don't think Russ is so much of the issue. You brought him in. You know what Russell Westbrook does. You watch this man play for 13 years at this point. So many times when I see Russ, I'm like, yeah, but why is he even there? Like even on the in the Grizzlies game, right? When Malik didn't swing the ball to Russ in the corner.
Right.
But why was Russ in the corner?
Right.
Like why wasn't Malik in the corner?
Yeah, sure.
Or even sometimes like last night when I'll see, like I said, Russ getting the ball in the corner. Now the man can't shoot, so now he got to drive to the rim. We done zoned. Sometimes I see Russ and I'm like, yo, he's been playing in position on the court that he shouldn't be playing in. Also,
but who's that on? Is that coaching? Is that on
Russ?
Russ?
On everybody.
Okay, yeah.
That's on Bron. That's on coaching. That's on everybody. I mean, even AD. I think AD sometimes plays in positions on the court where he shouldn't be. He's never been a great shooter, so why is he out there taking 6 threes a game? Like, granted, he was good in the bubble, but a lot of people shot great in the bubble.
All right, so the Lakers have been disappointing, one of the most disappointing teams in the NBA so far, coming in on where their expectations were. So who is most responsible for that? Do you put the blame on Rob Pelinka for constructing this team, on Frank Vogel for the way he's coaching it, on LeBron because he's the leader and dictates a lot? He's kind of a shadow GM. He's always been known as that. Is it on Russ? Is it on AD for being soft and never meeting the expectations? Like, who do you put the blame on if there's one person?
I hate to do that.
Right.
Because obviously it's a team game. If I had to put it on one person, I would. The only reason I would say AD is the fact of this. Defensively, I think he should be better. And defensively, I don't think he's been the AD of old that they really need him to be.
Right.
So if I had to put one person, I would probably say him. But it's on everybody, man. Like it's even like last night, right? When they playing the Timberwolves. I understand you playing small. Okay, that's cool. But bruh, the Timberwolves can't be getting like 20 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
Sometimes the ball going up and you ain't running to the ball. Like, that's just simple effort plays.
Yep.
So I got to put some things on everybody, but if I had to put one person, I guess I would say AD.
Yeah.
But again, I think that they're better than what they've shown. Like, they've had AD been out for a month. They've had guys in and out with COVID. Sometimes I'm sure it's frustrating. Like, Russ tested positive, then untested positive, then played, then Bron tested positive, then untested positive. Like, they've been in and out the lineup, so they haven't even really had a chance to get chemistry either. But yeah.
Surprising to me that they just traded Rajon Rondo to the Cleveland Cavaliers and basically got nothing back in return at all.
They got a roster spot.
An empty roster spot. So, but yeah, does that make them better? I mean, it depends what they do with that roster spot. But the fact that they take Rajon Rondo, a guy who was integral to them being champions and winning in the bubble, he played a huge role for them on that team. And he's a veteran, a leader, point guard, you know. How did that help them? I
mean, on this team specifically, he didn't really have a role anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, you know, they use THT kind of at point guard.
Yep.
Sometimes Malik will run point guard. Obviously, Russ is there. Sometimes when I look at their roster or, like, look at people on the court, I'll see Russ and I'll see Rajon Rondo and, like, THT, all non-shooting guards on the court.
Yep.
So on this team, he didn't really have a place.
Yeah.
And I think he'll do better in Cleveland. Obviously, with, you know, Ricky Rubio sadly tearing his
ACL.
Yeah, ACL. Rondo at least gets to go somewhere and play basketball.
Yeah.
On the Lakers, he was just sitting on the bench a lot of times unless guys were out with COVID. So
Yeah. It definitely was a good pickup for the Cavs, who've been surprising a lot of people and playing.
And Stanley Johnson, I don't want to cut you off, but Stanley Johnson also has been solid in his time with the Lakers. He's been solid. He's playing hard.
All
He's
right.
doing some of the little things. I don't think it's like a monumental move.
Right.
But I understand the thinking of what they want to do with that.
Well, that's the state of the Lakers when Stanley Johnson is, the key piece that you've been missing. Oh, boy. Now, one team, the Lakers have had a roller coaster season, a lot of up and down, but no team has had a bigger roller coaster of a season than the Houston Rockets, from losing 15 in a row to winning 7 in a row to now they're back on a 7-game losing streak again. And not only that, adding insult to injury, Kevin Porter Jr., their young star point guard, he got in a tiff with John Lucas at halftime, and he left the game. He just pulled like an Antonio Brown, basically.
I've never heard of anybody doing that.
He just got in his car and left, and Christian Wood refused to check into the game. Both those guys have been suspended by the Houston Rockets. They will not be playing in tonight's game. Man, what do the Rockets do? Because it's like clearly they're not going to make the playoffs this year. They're rebuilding. They've got the John Wall situation where they're paying him money to not show up and play, even though he's healthy and he wants to play. Kevin Porter Jr., the Cavs had him. They gave him up for nothing because of issues like this. And he's super talented, but it's just like, what does a team like that do, to feel good about the foundation and the future? Because right now it's like, one
lose and get a
headache
draft
after
pick.
another. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I think the number one thing is you want to develop Jalen Green.
Right.
So I think you have to prioritize Jalen Green's development, number one.
Yeah.
That also means having good vets there.
Yeah,
I mean, you do have Eric Gordon, you do have John Wall there, but like BD has even said, like, it's hard to lead when you're not even playing.
Right.
So, I think they need to develop Jalen Green, and I mean, hey, keep losing and hope you get a good draft pick. I hope you get somebody in this year. But that situation is, you got to be more professional than that.
Yeah.
I understand that, you may have been frustrated, but leaving the game.
Just
Leaving the game at halftime is outrageous. You gotta be more professional than that.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kevin Porter Jr., a crazy talented player, but he's had a couple incidents like this, and that's what got him run out of Cleveland was a spat in the locker room, and they just
I think Torian Prince came in, I think, and they moved his locker without telling him, which is disrespectful.
For sure.
You should let me know. But you gotta handle that in a better way. Because I mean, look, even if you don't want to be there, you want to be in the league.
Right.
And somebody else is always watching. Somebody else can always use you. So you just want to handle that situation a little bit better.
Exactly. So lots going on in the league. We got some big games coming up this week in the NBA as well, including we talked about the Miami Heat. Tonight they go to Golden State to take on the Golden State Warriors. That's a big game. Obviously, neither team is at full strength right now, so it's not the exact matchup that we're looking for or hoping for, but it is a big game. Any predictions on that one? Can anyone slow down the Warriors? They even, without Draymond Green shorthanded, went into Utah and beat the Jazz the other night. That was a big game.
Yeah, that was a great game, and I'm still angry at Mike Conley for the shot he took with like a minute and 30 left, and it was one of the worst shots I've actually seen anybody take all year.
Yep.
But I mean, I would go with the Warriors in that game, and also the Warriors get reinforcements coming back. Klay Thompson, they say that he may play on Sunday.
Yep.
So that's huge for them, and I think that they have something to look forward to. So I think that they'll keep the what they have rolling going and get a win tonight.
Yeah. Okay. All right,
I can't see a reason to pick against them.
And then we've got, the Pacers taking on the Nets. Kyrie Irving's debut on Wednesday. Friday of this week, we got the Bucks and the Nets. That should be a good one, too.
Game. Where is it?
That one is in Brooklyn, so Kyrie will not be playing in that game.
See, like that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Like you go play in Indiana, and then 2 days later you're not on the court.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's a bit of a wild situation. The All-Star game is just over a month away, so I want to know, who are your All-Stars at this point this year?
I'll give you my starters.
All right.
The starters is easy. Like I said,
do
Eastern
starters.
Conference,
Yeah.
give me Zach LaVine, give me DeMar DeRozan, give me Kevin Durant, give me Joel Embiid, and for my last, Giannis, obviously Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis.
Eastern.
That's
West,
hard to argue with.
Yeah. West, give me Jokic, give me Jokic, give me LeBron, give me Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Personally, give me Rudy Gobert, give me Steph Curry, and I'd probably say give me Luka. Luka's still putting up solid numbers.
How about Ja? How about Ja Morant?
Starting, though?
Yeah.
Like they did go on a 10-game win streak
without him. Right, yeah.
I think Ja should be an all-star, but starting,
he should be an all-star this year.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, okay. All right, fair enough. Who's a big-name player who will not be an all-star this season?
Not Dame go get I would have said Dame 2 months ago, but Dame actually has been picking it up recently of late. Big name player who won't be an all-star. I mean, does Russell Westbrook count?
Yeah, he counts.
Russ. I think Russ' all-star streak may be over.
Yeah, okay. No, that's a good point. Yeah, he's definitely had some struggles. I mean, he's still getting stats, he's still getting triple doubles, but
yeah, but it's at the point, unfortunately for him, that people don't care anymore that he gets triple doubles. It's still crazy because he's the only one to do it.
Right.
So it's like, but we at the point where like people have seen it so much, so like, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
all right. There's a trade rumor that I heard. I don't know if you guys have heard this at all. It was on Fox Sports last week, and again, this could just be like media speculation and nothing more than that.
All right,
but
let's hear it.
So the trade rumor was trade Russell Westbrook for Kyrie Irving.
No.
Reunite the OKC Thunder team in Brooklyn
No.
and have Harden, Durant, and Russ, and then reunite LeBron and Kyrie in LA. And the only reason that it's, a team would consider it, that Brooklyn would consider it, is because of what you're talking about, the 50% of Kyrie only having him
but
road
wouldn't the
games.
Lakers have the same issue though?
Apparently not. No, they would not have the same issue. That it's not the same in LA. That he would be able to play in home.
He play home games?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
No, still no.
Still no.
If I'm
Yeah.
the Nets, like why?
I agree with you. But, it would definitely make NBA Twitter explode and heads explode all over the country. All the relationships that would bring up, all the, KD and Russ together again.
With Harden.
And Harden, the OKC Thunder team again, and then LeBron and Kyrie teaming up in LA. It would be wild. I don't see it happening either, but I've definitely seen a lot of speculation, rumors.
It's not happening. It'd be great, but it's not happening.
Right. Yeah.
I would love to see Kyrie and LeBron back on the same court. They provided me some of my best basketball memories ever.
Absolutely.
But it's not
Me
happening.
too. Yeah, being a Cavs
obviously,
fan,
Cavs,
of course.
yeah.
One team who's currently not in the playoff picture, and they're always a contender. They got a good young core. It's the Boston Celtics. They got a new head coach this year, but they're below 500. It has not been clicking, not been working. They, like many teams, have had a lot of COVID issues. Jaylen Brown last night dropped 50 points, a career high. He's playing incredible basketball. Should the Celtics break up this core of Brown and Tatum?
No, I don't think they should break up the core because I don't think they really improved the core around the core.
Okay.
Like I don't think they like you. Okay, I like Al Horford,
Al Horford is,
he's like 34 years old.
but he's still getting it done.
He is, but you went back and got Al Horford. Also, you don't really have an actual point guard.
No, Marcus Smart, great defense.
Great defense, but he's not a point guard.
Okay.
Schroeder, I don't think Schroeder is a starting point guard. I think Schroeder would be great as your sixth man.
Okay.
I think he's a starting point guard. So I'm gonna say no. They shouldn't break them up. They should at least. I mean, and also these guys are still young.
Yeah.
Like they're still. Like I know that they had success so early, so it seems like that the obvious next step would be like finals.
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, these guys are still figuring out the NBA game, still figuring out how to play with each other. So no, I would not say break this core up of two young. I would think both of them under 25.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say break the core up. I would say improve the core around those two guys.
Okay. All
Somehow.
right. Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you think, TPJ?
Break that shit up.
Break it up?
Break it up.
And who would you build around, Tatum or Brown?
Brown. Tatum.
Wow.
I've been saying it for years. Tatum is not the best player on the Celtics.
Wow.
Jaylen Brown is the best. He's the better defender. He's the better scorer. All of his shots aren't hard. All of his shots aren't fadeaways. All of his shots aren't going away from the basket. Like he's a good slashing shooting guard, small forward combo. I still like him better than Tatum, and I think if with Tatum gone, maybe he can get an increase in some shots. Honestly, this is gonna sound bad, but if I was them, I'd try and trade Tatum to Indiana for DeMontis, Miles Turner, and give me somebody else. Give me a guard, and I'll take them, and we'll run with it and try to see what we can do in the East with DeMontis and Jaylen Brown and Miles Turner. Personally, like I just don't like Jason Tatum's game. Like he's first team all think he Kobe, but he's not Kobe.
Yeah.
I just think he just plays too far away from the basket.
Wow.
I think he's another big guy who has one of those issues where they got the cool moves, they got all the the cool dribble moves and played 26 feet away from the rim.
Yeah.
When he's really a power forward.
Right.
It should be positioned the way you would position a power forward. But I'm not on the break them up wave. I don't think that trade is bad, but I'm not on the break them up wave, no.
Interesting. That's interesting. Most people would say you build around Tatum, not Brown.
Because he got the cool moves, and we love
but
the cool
points,
footwork.
he scores
but
more.
it's still
Right.
25 points.
My question is, in actuality, why?
Yeah, I mean, you make a good
he's
point
not
about defense. You make a good point about defense.
I mean,
Jaylen
even
Brown's
shot selection,
a better
though.
defender.
Who has the better shot selection, game in and game out? It's not close.
Yeah, I mean, I think my gut instinct would have said Jason Tatum, but you know,
he got the cool moves, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You like the footwork.
I like the footwork. I like his size. I like just his strength. Like the trajectory of his career. He's always looked to me like, oh, this could be a guy who. Is this the year? Can he like take a leap to be in the MVP conversation? Like he looks like he's built for that. He does, but it's like the eye test more than anything. Jaylen Brown, you're right, is a better defender, and maybe he is the guy, if they do break it up, that they should stick with.
Let me see if I can find a comparison view to Jason Tatum.
Like, Tatum averages like 1 or 2 more points. It's not
it's
like
close.
It's not
no,
like
it's close. It's like
close.
28 versus 25.
I'm telling you, Tatum's game just looks cooler. He's the more marketed one.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously was dunked on LeBron at one time. And he was, in that Game 7, he went toe-to-toe with him.
What about, all right, how about this? Jason Tatum, the only reason he's on the Boston Celtics is because of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah,
because of that Markelle Fultz trade, and they got the extra draft pick, and they got, Tatum and all this. What about Jason Tatum to Philly? I don't know if these two could be trade partners again.
For Ben Simmons.
For Ben Simmons and more. I mean, because you're getting Jason Tatum. That's a deal that Philly says yes to. They'll take Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I'm not upset at that. So let's actually look at the numbers this year. This year, Brown has played 23 games. Tatum has played 33. Brown had COVID. He also was injured. Tatum is averaging 36.7 minutes per game. Brown is averaging 34 minutes a game. Tatum is taking 21.5 of shots a game to Brown's 19.1. Tatum is only making 8.9 shots a game. Compared to Jaylen Brown's 8.7 shots a game. So, I mean.
So he's making the same on less attempts.
On less attempts. In terms of three-point line, Brown is shooting 36% to Tatum's 32.9. In terms of the 2-point field goal range, Brown is shooting 52 to 47.4. Efficiency field goal rate, Brown 52.8, Tatum 48. Like, how your effective field goal rate 48%. Like, that's terrible. Free throw attempts, Tatum is taking 0.7 more than Brown. He does shoot better from the free throw line, 82 versus 77%. And then in terms of rebounding, obviously Tatum is playing more to 4, so he's averaging a couple more rebounds. But I mean, across the board, it's really not that big of a difference to me. Like, to me, I still think Brown is better, and I would give Brown 2 more shots a game and try to see if I can find me some guys that can rebound and shoot. Because I like the Celtics guys, but Robert Williams to me is a bench player. Grant Williams is his name, right? Grant Williams. Grant Williams is a bench player.
Yep.
Dennis Schroeder is a bench player. Marcus Smart is a bench player. Al Horford is a bench player.
Marcus Smart is not a bench player.
In 2022, yes, he is.
No.
Yes, he is. He's not a starter.
He is
not
definitely a starter.
He should have never been a starter.
He's
He
absolutely a
should have
starter.
never been a starter.
Yeah, it's not about
He's not
just
a-
points
not a
scored. It's
starter.
about defense,
He's not a
intensity.
starter.
It's about. I agree with everything
Why
you're
do you
saying,
think when
except
there was
Marcus
better
Smart.
point guards on the team, he always
I
started?
think he's one of the
And now that they
top
don't have a good
10
point guard.
players in the NBA in terms of hustle, intensity, defense, that all
don't
around
mean,
like.
and so is Patrick Beverly, and that don't mean you need to be starting.
Yeah, but Marcus Smart is much better than Patrick Beverly. You know, as a player.
Marginally. He's not
a
that much.
starter.
Marginally, Patrick Beverly shoot 40% from the 3-point line for his career, basically.
Listen, I thought Patrick Beverly was a good starter for a team that had a lot of scoring options, like the Clippers. You know, I really did.
Same with Marcus Smart.
I mean, I
for a
think
team with a
Marcus
lot of
Smart-
scoring options. They don't have a lot of scoring options. They got Tatum and Brown. They gonna dribble the ball, ISO. Tatum gonna fade away. Brown gonna slash to the rim. That's about it.
Yeah,
grab
he's a
the
starter.
cleanup
He's
board.
a starter on a championship team. Marcus.
I think
Smart,
Marcus
believe.
Smart can start. I think the real issue is they probably need to prove the center position, and they need a point guard. They need somebody to be like, yo, I'm going to put you right here.
Right,
So you
right.
have to dribble into this shot. I'm going to put you right here. And
Yeah.
Like, if they had like a Chris Paul, I think they would be.
You can say that about a lot of
You
teams.
can say that about a lot of teams,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yes.
They had a Chris Paul. Yeah, exactly. So ironic. The Clippers last year make it to the Western Conference Finals, and the one thing they were missing was Chris Paul. Like, if they had a point guard.
I mean, I don't know if they was just missing that, but
I mean, I feel like
I
that
feel
was
like they
the
was
one
kind
missing
of
piece.
just missing Kawhi.
That too. That would help too. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I mean, even with Kawhi, but yes. Man, all right. Hey, how about the Clippers? I mean, you guys cover the Clippers. You're
Cover the
at
Clippers.
every Clipper game.
Yes.
Is this season just a wash because, you know, PG was playing excellent basketball, but he's hurt right now? Kawhi Leonard likely not coming back this year. Is this just kind of like pack it up, pack it in, this is it? Or what's a best case scenario for this Clippers team?
Best case
depends on PG.
scenario,
Best
like
case.
you said, it really depends on it really depends on the extent of PG's injury.
Right.
Like I think you brought up the fact that that's the same thing as like a Tommy John.
Yeah.
We're not doctors, but we
Right.
think it's the same thing
Yeah.
as like a Tommy John.
That's like
PG
serious.
was playing at an MVP level before he started having trouble with his
He's
elbow.
playing great.
Yeah, he's playing great. So I mean, if he's actually hurt, then I mean, yeah, like what are we doing?
Luke Kennard.
Who has been playing really good this season.
He has
like,
been.
Like
He has been.
Like all of their, but also for them, it's kind of even like the Warriors those other 2 years, not comparing them to, but when their young guys got enough experience that when they get thrown in the game, now they're not scared of the moment.
Right.
They're not afraid. So
Right.
even if he is lost, I mean, you still got Terrence Mann who's young. You got Luke Kennard. You got Brandon Boston. He can get some shots. Keon Johnson can get some shots. You have all those guys.
How about Terrence Mann? Like that game he had in that little postseason run.
Yeah.
Where has he been, man? Like since then?
I mean, he's been good.
I mean, he's been all right,
He's been
but I thought
good.
he was gonna be the guy.
He's
Yeah.
been good.
Yep. Well, I mean, lots. You're watching a lot of games. You're going to the Wolves
going to
Clippers
the-
game
yeah,
tonight.
yeah,
Any
Wolves
prediction
Clippers
on
game,
that
yeah.
one? Any bets you recommend anybody taking?
I think the Clippers win.
Clippers
Actually,
win?
no, they don't win.
A second night of a back-to-back for Minnesota.
Nah, yeah, but I gotta see how many people the Clippers got out.
Yep.
I think Zoo is still out. Reggie's back, but they have like Batum is still out. I think. So I gotta see who's even. I gotta get the injury report and look at that.
Yeah. A lot of guys missing games for sure. All right, what's one team or player you're most looking forward to besides Kyrie Irving this week in the NBA? Maybe it's a matchup, a team, a player that you're most looking forward to this week in the league.
I watch every Cavs game, bro. So like, just
Okay.
the Cavs, bro. I literally watch every
Actually,
single Cavs game.
the Cavs have a big game coming up. I think it's on Tuesday night against the Memphis Grizzlies in
That'd be a
Cleveland.
great game.
And those are two of the most surprising teams, like overachieving teams so far in the
Great
league.
young point guards as well.
Absolutely.
Great young point guards,
So
same draft class.
hopefully, I don't know if Garland will be back in time for that that game
Hopefully
or
he is,
not,
so.
but that would be great because that definitely should be a good matchup on Tuesday night, Grizzlies versus the Cavs in Cleveland. I'm excited about that one for sure. Yeah.
No, and I mean, even just putting Rondo there, so you kind of like, obviously, I think Rubio is better at this point, but
Yeah.
you're still putting Rondo there, so you still get some ball handling and some facilitation off the bench. I think can be good for them.
Let's see if we got any breaking news in the NBA. You never know while we're.
You really never know. You gotta go to Woes page and just
I know.
scroll down.
Yeah. I think we're. No, just the Klay Thompson stuff is the latest. That Klay Thompson is aiming to return on Sunday
Against Cleveland.
against Cleveland. Yep.
Good for Klay, man. Good for Klay.
It is. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen him out there, so I'm excited for him to get back. And Steve Kerr said that he's going to start right away. He's not bringing him off the bench. Yep. Do you think in any way will this just automatically make the Warriors that much better because they're adding one of the league's premier defenders, 3-and-D players back to the team, or could this take them a minute too, learning how to play with them? Now Jordan Poole, what is his role because he's developed, or do you think actually maybe even the COVID protocols have kind of helped them because it's been so piecemeal
Yeah,
throughout?
I mean, like the Warriors is like plug and play. Like nobody really dribbles that much.
It's a system.
It's a system. So you plug him back into the system, and you.
Right.
I mean, again, these guys have been together. What Steph, Klay, and Dre have been together at this point. What 7-8 years?
Right. Yeah.
So like, nah, I'm pretty sure it won't be any huge, real, thing like that as well.
It comes back together pretty quick. All right.
I think Wiggins can probably even better defensively. Because now you have Klay. I don't think he has to. I mean, obviously he's averaging 19, but I don't think he has. I think now he has to do that. I think if you bring Klay back, I mean, obviously at worst Klay is giving you 18 points.
Right.
So I think that even if Klay isn't the defender that he once was, you still do have Wiggins, a young athletic guy who can take over that role.
All right. Before we get out of here, it's January 3rd, 2022. Save the tape. You're way too early. NBA Finals prediction. Who is going to be in the NBA Finals?
Warriors Bucks.
Warriors Bucks, and who wins?
I'm gonna go Warriors.
Warriors over the Bucks. You heard it here. It's day 3 of 2022. We'll see if this holds up. Warriors over the Bucks. That is the prediction from Pavy.
Bucks. I got the Bulls versus the Warriors. Bulls in 6.
Bulls over the Warriors. TPJ.
Bulls in 6 on Chicago. DeMar DeRozan game win over Klay Thompson.
Whatever you're smoking, save some of that for me.
I ain't smoking nothing right now.
Well, I don't know. Actually, I don't want any of that because that is too much over there. There's some crack in that because that is not happening. The Chicago Bulls are not winning the championship this year. I am sorry. That's like me saying it's going to be Cavs over the Grizzlies. That's not happening.
Hey, you better shut up. You better bite your tongue for some COVID shit happening in half the league.
Yeah, it's true. That could happen.
You can't postpone the game for 3 weeks.
Fair enough, but I do not see the Bulls win it all. I think I actually like the Warriors prediction. Warriors Bucks. I like that.
Safe
I see
prediction.
that too. And honestly, I don't know. You know what? Just to differ it up, I'm going to say Bucks over the Warriors in that series.
Yeah, I really don't know, but like I'm gonna say Warriors, but also Giannis is like Giannis. And
Right.
Giannis
Who
is
stops Giannis? That's
no,
the question.
Giannis. I think Giannis is at the point right now when Giannis says no, it's just like nah, bro, relax.
Right. Who stops Giannis? And you got Drew Holiday guarding Steph. Not that anyone can guard Steph, but at least you got
They
one
do
of
need
the
Brook
best.
back though. They do need Brook Lopez back. They do need Brook back. Brook has had I think back surgery.
Yeah,
if I'm not
that's
mistaken.
tough.
They
Yeah.
do need Brook Lopez back.
They need him back, but they've added some good pieces, and they've got a lot of depth now.
sure,
And they
yeah,
got
for sure.
DiVincenzo back, Grayson Allen they added to the team, DeMarcus Cousins, but no PJ Tucker. That could
Yes,
hurt them.
yes, it
yeah,
could, yes,
for
it
sure.
could.
All right, well, we'll save the tape. We'll see how this plays out. January 3rd, 2022, our finals predictions. Stay safe, everybody. We will be back with another edition of Who Got Game soon. Enjoy some NBA basketball. For Pavy, I'm Jason Zone Fisher. BD Baron Davis will be back with us next week. We hope you all had a happy holidays, happy New Year, everybody. Enjoy some NBA games, and be sure to follow us at SLiC, Jay-Z Fish,
Pavy World.
Pavy World.
One word.
That one word. Don't put a space or an underscore anywhere in there. Don't come close with that. That's right. And we will see you again real soon. Next week, same time, same place.
I'm like quarterback and shit. I don't give a fuck, she rockin' the back. She got hair, so I'm trying to say. Take it more than you record or not. She from Melbourne, and I tell her she can go get her nails done.